Today, Brittany's Law was passed in the New York State Senate. 5 years ago, I became a survivor, and today I got to speak in the Capitol building at a press conference about me being a survivor and about Brittany's Law. Brittany's Law is a registry that would create a list and establish a list that would put all domestic violence and violent offenders all in one place. They would organize them and to keep them in line and make sure you know where they are and make sure you know who's who. And I don't need to know what the person did. I need to know that they were charged for something. So the things that are arising is over the last years on years, Brittany's Law has been passed. The bills have been passed in the New York State Senate. So the Senate is on our side. The Senate has our back. But who doesn't have our back? Because this doesn't exist yet. And that would be the Assembly. The Assembly stops it, and it gets halted and stalled in the Corrections Committee every single year. So when you really look into it and you look at why, one of the biggest things of the New York State domestic violence, New York State Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and they think that it would give us a false security. They think that it would create a retaliation against the victim for ever putting the abuser on this list. So when I think about my specific experiences, I think about, okay, so my ex choked me. He jumped on our son. He held us hostage. He told us he was going to kill us. He tried to kill us. He got arrested. They found a warrant for his arrest. They found out that he had actually raped a girl before me. That person had a child. He had been doing this since he was 18 years old. I was the fourth. There's more after me. There's more after the person there that he is currently with. He talked that person into marriage. And the thing that pops up, red flag, here for me is he had tried to manipulate me into marrying him. I signed a marriage license. Then I left. I got the balls and I left. I became strong, or so I thought. The girl after me that he ended up raping, that person signed a marriage license. Less than 30 days. That person left, pressed charges, did all of the best things, gave me the confidence to be able to stand up for myself and to be able to say that I, yes, indeed, matter. Because all the girls before me, those people had the same lives that I lived, and we lived next to the police department, and every single time the police department ever came, it was like I was a number. I was just the girl of the week, the girl of the month, the girl of the year, the girl that he was abusing, and he was so used to it, and they were so used to it that I never became a person to help. I was just the person that he was newly abusing. They failed me. The system failed me. West Seneca failed me. So I never felt like I was important. I never felt like I mattered, and I never said anything, because if I went to say anything, one, I would be in trouble with them, my ex and his mother, and two, would the police officer even do anything to help me? So I left. I've been gone for 5 years. I'm a single mother. I got my associate's, bachelor's. I can give you a list of things that I've gotten in the last couple of years, and all of those things because I'm strong. I left. That's the point of this point I'm making right now, is I left. So when I left, I was not afraid of him anymore. I was afraid of the world. He showed me the wrath of evil. He showed me what a person is capable of. So I was afraid of everybody, not just him. If he had went on a registry, I would not have been afraid, because when you really look at it, abusers are cowards. Abusers, they find their excitement and attraction, and they get off on control, and they are nothing but scum. So I wouldn't have been afraid of him if he went on this list. Though over the last couple of years, I've watched him move on to another girl, and I've seen him on dating websites, which is where I met him, and he's married. So he's not going to stop. He is a serial abuser, a serial impregnator, and it's not going to end. This is just who he is. It's been over 10 years. I don't see it stopping, and it's only the last couple of us that have said anything, that have put him on any kind of watch list or what have you. I'm not afraid of him. It's just how it is. You talk to a lot of survivors that have reclaimed their strength, they're not afraid of them. They are uneasy and maybe uncomfortable. That person creates triggers. That person gave us post-traumatic stress disorder. They created PTSD, and they ruined what a huge part of our life and security that we probably will never get back. And every single day you move on and you just try to make the best of that specific day and hope that nothing will remind you and nothing will trigger you into any kind of meltdown or anxiety attack. So no, I'm not afraid of him going on a registry. And I know so many other victims and survivors that are not afraid of their abusers going on this registry. Over the last couple of years, I've wanted to create this registry. And at one point, there was something going on Facebook where people were posting their abusers, which I thought was illegal, and then it was taken down, so it was. But would I have liked to be able to go to a resource, wherever that is, online, into a government building when red flags started to show? The first time he choked me, maybe. Would I have liked to be able to look this person up and see that he had done this to 3 other girls before me? Yes. Yes, I would have liked that. I would have liked to be able to see that everything that he had told me was a complete lie. When I was with him, he told me that the girl before me stole his dark blue Hyundai Tiburon. It had side skirts, and it was blacked out, and it was a beautiful car. Therefore, every time we seen a Tiburon our entire relationship, he had some kind of mental breakdown that he was so upset that he lost this car. While I was in the safe house, I got to have a conversation with the girl before me, and I got to talk to her about all the things that he used to say, including the fact that every time that we were in a fight, he told me that he had secretly went back to this girl, and she, come to find out, would have never done that. And that car never existed. I had gotten into a conversation with the girl that came after me, that pressed all the charges, and apparently I stole his Eclipse. Maybe it was an Eclipse GT? I'm not sure. I stole that car, though. That's what he said. There's always a car. And the girl after that, somebody probably stole a car that she knows about too. That's just what he does. It's ridiculous. Would I have liked to know that he had done the exact same thing with the little girl he was watching, down to the bathroom incident where I was held hostage, where he tried to kill me when my son was little? Would I have liked to know that exact same incident happened with the girl before me? You bet your butt I would have. He made me think I was insane. He made me think that I was the only girl in the world that could ever make him this mad. He made me insecure. He made me jealous. He made me angry. He made me weak. He took my confidence, my self-esteem, and he tore it apart. When I was pregnant, he really rammed it into my head that I was eating for 2. And if I wasn't eating what he wanted me to eat, then I wasn't caring for the baby. He worked at Dunkin' Donuts at the time and brought me home these pumpkin muffins. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that pumpkin muffin. After a hard day of listening to that guy talk and scream and whine about every little thing because he's actually a huge man-child, it felt really nice to have him go to work and be able to watch Cupcake Wars and eat a pumpkin muffin. Until it got to the point where he was bringing it home every day in multiples, where I had a stockpile and I was rotating it in the fridge. And I was eating it every single day, and it got to a point where I added it up one month, and I had between 30 to 45 muffins in about a month span, and it hit me, and so did the weight. And I started gaining weight really fast. And then slowly and steadily he started telling me who is going to love me or date me or think that I'm beautiful if I'm a fat ass. Who is going to take me seriously or think that I'm a person or believe anything I say if I'm a fat ass. Our first conversation when we were dating, not even dating yet, the very first time I ever met him, we talked almost all night, and we talked about everything. I never realized that the entire conversation was mostly about me, and I never realized that he was grooming me. He was figuring out who in my life I didn't like, why, who were my exes, why did we break up, who did I love, who did I not love, the family members in my family that I didn't get along with, the family members in my family that I did get along with. What did I wish had happened in certain circumstances? He was grooming me. And every little thing that I said during that conversation, he ended up throwing back in my face, including the fact that growing up, I battled anorexia and bulimia. So, flash forward to my pregnancy, where I was eating these muffins trying to take care of my child, because that's how you do it. You eat for two, no matter what it is. And then suddenly I gained a lot of weight, and I was a fat ass, and I wasn't beautiful, and no one liked me. And no wonder I didn't get along with my family, because all I did was eat and be lazy, and I was a deadbeat. No job, flunked out of school. He just rammed all these things into my head. Would I have liked to know that 3 women before me, over the course of the last 5-10 years of his life, had gone through the same thing, except each girl feeling a little bit worse and feeling it a little bit more, because as he's trying new things and he's manipulating more and more, he's getting better at it. And so he's in and out of the court system, and it seems like he knows more and more about judges and lawyers than I do, because what have I been to, like, traffic court? I've never been to Supreme Court. I've never been to family court. I've never been to IDV court at this time. I have since then. So every time something is happening, he's telling me what the judge is going to think. He's telling me what the lawyers are going to say. He's telling me I have no money, and his mom has money, so he's going to get the best lawyer, and I'm going to get the state defender that doesn't really care about what they're doing because they lucked out in their life, and this is what they're doing with their life. And he's telling me all the reasons why I'm going to lose my child. It takes a toll. So would I have liked to know that this was my future? Would I have liked to know that this had happened before? Or that I wasn't insane? That he'd been this mad before me? Months, even, before he met me. Would I have liked to know this? Yes. I love my son. I wouldn't change having my son. But maybe I'd like to have known and left when I found out I was pregnant. And not had a heart monitor sitting next to me, or been feeling my heart palpitations, or fear that I wasn't gonna survive. But I'd like to know that. Yes. Yes, I would.